Welcome to the Stripped Podcast. This is your host, Allison Lassard. Let's get into it. I feel like everybody's on board with this relationship as a mirror concept until the reflection shows you something ugly, something gross. We all love this idea that relationship is going to teach us something until it reflects back our avoidance, our control, our manipulation, our guilt trips. And then it's all, oh my God, they're so toxic. This episode is not about blame. It is about brutal honesty. So the relationship that irritated you the most, made you crash out, broke your heart, that's the one we're going to dive into today. I just want to start here by talking about the mirror that you didn't necessarily ask for. Like I said in the beginning, I feel like most people say that they want this like deep, conscious type of relationship, for example, in a romantic way, until it's like X-ray vision, until all of a sudden you're seeing all of the parts of yourself that make you incredibly uncomfortable, that make you cringe, that make you feel insecure, that make you feel vulnerable. Okay. We tend to attract people, especially before we're more aware of these things, we tend to attract people who trigger the exact wound that we never healed. So I don't know, if you had like an emotionally unavailable mother or father, that's usually who you're chasing to date. Or if you had like a parent who was like mean to you, you might end up with a partner that's exactly the same way. Or maybe one of your parents is super controlling and then you end up in a relationship with somebody like that. Like or we're looking for the parent that didn't give us the attention and then we date that person. Maybe it's not even emotional, maybe it's other ways, maybe it's physical, etc. All right. And they tend to mirror the exact behavior that we judge in others. This is all of our unintegrated shadow stuff. And thirdly, I feel like they do, call out the power that we tend to give away. So they're going to force us to like find the ways where we shift blame, where we don't want to take responsibility, where we try to find the easy way out. Like the blame game goes bye-bye in these types of connections if you're practicing with a true, like correct spiritual view. And that's not easy to do. Like you need the right, lineage or teachings. You need a good teacher. You need mentors. Like this is pretty challenging to do all by yourself, but give it your best shot. But that's why people like me are here to help you guys out, because I promise that it can also get a little bit easier. But let's just say that you date somebody emotionally unavailable and suddenly you realize that you've been emotionally dishonest for years. Because there's no way that you're attracting a person who's that unavailable without in some way abandoning yourself or betraying your needs or settling in some way. Do you see what I'm saying? So you get betrayed and then you see how you've been betraying yourself. This is such a big one. It's very common to want to look away. Like I said, the minute that it gets gross and uncomfortable, I see so many people try to flip the narrative and be like, this person is a narcissist. Sweetie, just because you disagree with somebody, just because somebody gets under your skin, just because all of a sudden there's something about a person that makes you upset, it does not make them a narcissist, okay? Stop using this term so lightly. There are very few true full-blown narcissists in the world, and that's like also a spectrum, and a lot of us have like maybe some narcissistic tendencies because of trauma that's been unhealed, but let's just quit it with labeling everyone a narcissist simply because you didn't get what you wanted. It's ridiculous. Stop. Go get that DSM, baby, and educate yourself. There's some common ways, that we avoid seeing the mirror. This is how. I just said it. Number one, blaming people. They're the narcissist. Number two, spiritual bypassing. Oh, it's a soul contract. So I can just, it's a karmic soul contract. So I don't have to learn this lesson. They were just here to like trigger me, but like, fuck them, kick them to the curb, give me somebody better. How about I'm going to do another ceremony to forget about it. Maybe you like to chug ayahuasca. Maybe you like to do other types of, quote unquote, medicine. Or maybe it's not substances, but it's like some other new moon or full moon ceremony to fix it. There's nothing wrong with that stuff. It's fun. It's cool to do things in alignment with the moon cycles, and that's great, but that's not going to like change your karma. You might also find yourself like in a loop of distraction when you don't want to look in the mirror. So all of a sudden it's like, I'm distracted. I want to get on the dating apps again. I want to like have a new fling. You shift into this validation seeking. So call it what it is. It's avoidance. Again, the mirror is not mean on purpose. You just may not like what it's showing you about yourself. This is one of the, I remember the first shadow work thing I ever did. This was probably 15 years ago. It was this book by this woman named Debbie. I can't even remember her last name. And something about in the dark. Wow, what a good promo. I literally don't remember the name of the book. It was a long time ago. It was one of these, maybe it was Hay House or one of those publishing houses. I don't remember. But it was like one of the very first books that somebody gave me to do shadow work. And it was like a list of words, maybe like 200 words. And it was like circle the words that give you an emotional charge, like a negative emotional charge. Just circle them. And then you were to sit with those words and be like, in what ways do I not want to acknowledge that I do or think this thing? So I challenge you guys to do that if you want. Um, it was a great exercise. It was very eye-opening for me at the time because I had never done anything like that before. I just didn't understand the responsibility. I truly thought it was a one-way mirror. I was like, there's no way that I'm doing any of the things. Like if somebody's being deceptive or sneaky, I'm like, look, where's my halo? I'm going to edit it. Me? Deceptive? I don't lie. But then maybe I wasn't lying to the people I was with. Maybe I was lying to myself. You have to dig deeper. I love doing this with clients. It's part of everything that we do, whether it's in a group setting, whether it's one-to-one. I always include like a shadow work portion because we literally can't integrate our wholeness without addressing the shadow. And this is where most people check out. All right, next part here, karma, baby. The deeper layer, why this person, why the timing, why this heartbreak. It's not punishment. It's feedback. It's cause and effect. So you can't get a result without a cause, okay? Things don't just drop out of nowhere. Like if you want an apple tree, you have to plant an apple seed. If you're getting betrayed in your life, guaranteed that there was a cause for it. And if the world is coming from you, your mind, from a projection of your mind and your karma, that means you created the cause for it at some point. Now, we don't know. According to Buddhism, we don't know exactly when it was. It could have been in this life. It could have been in previous lifetimes because we believe in past and future lives per proofs of these things. Like, we take a whole course on it, on proofs, like logical proofs of past and future lives, because karma is a continuation of the mind stream. So like creates like produces like. And like you come into this lifetime with certain inclinations, certain tendencies, certain ways of thinking, certain ways of being. And again, if every result has a cause, it had to come from somewhere. Anyway, it's much deeper than that, but you get the point. Like what you're experiencing in your relationships, especially in this mirror that's really uncomfortable, is simply feedback for you. So it's not to sit there and start to feel terrible about yourself and be like, oh my God, if someone's betraying me or lying to me or they're not available for me, like that means I'm a bad person. No, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means you've got to start to shift your karma. You have to start to change the projection. Now, I will speak from personal experience and after working with so many clients on this, like your relationships can change 180 degrees. You could have a really difficult relationship with a parent, for example, and a year from now, it's totally transformed. I know this because I'm living proof over the course of the last several years, let's say 8 years. Like it's completely, like there's no more drama. I don't have drama with like anyone in my family, particularly with my parents anymore. None. But that was not always the case. Who changed, them or me? I know that I did this inner work. I know that my way of perceiving them has shifted. And in turn, our relationships have dramatically improved. So the relationship isn't meant to be forever fixed in the way that you're experiencing it necessarily. Things are not fixed. They're changeable. That's an empowerment. It means things can change for the better. If things were fixed in nature, then every single person would be experiencing like your mother or your ex-partner exactly the same way. And we know that that's not true. Like their kids see them one way, their current person might see them one way, you see them one way, a person on the street sees them a different way. They're all different perceptions. So the person is not fixed in nature. It's not coming from them, from their side only. Or else every sentient being in the whole universe would experience them always the same at all times. And it doesn't work that way. That's why we know it's coming from us. But again, this is an empowerment. So if you start to feel like, ugh, this is really good news. Everything's up for transformation. Karma is not a death sentence. It's not condemnation. It's an opportunity to completely and radically transform your life. A fucking man. Okay. And so what do you do with the mirror? What do you do with this challenging relationship? You're not going to smash it. You're not going to paint over it. You're not going to outsource all of this to your therapist forever. I advocate therapy. If you want to get talk therapy, get it. Maybe you need to build some self-awareness, take more responsibility for your patterns. Like maybe there's some family stuff that you haven't addressed yet that needs to come first. So I'm a huge advocate. If that works for you, then do it. What I will say is that most people, when they come to me, by the time that they find me in my work, they've already done therapy. So it helped them somewhat, but then they hit a wall. And that's just the people coming to me. That's not everybody. For some people, it's the final destination that works for them. But if you're one of those people who's already done therapy, but you still have challenges in your relationships, like you're not communicating well with your partner, or you're not having sex, or there's one particular pattern that keeps coming up over and over, like you and your partner are always fighting over who's right or who's to blame, and you're constantly trying to point the finger, or you feel like your partner or whoever isn't taking responsibility, like they always want to, you know, blame someone. I feel like blame is one of the biggest reasons why people fight in relationships, because they won't and refuse to take that radical self-responsibility. So that's where I really come in to be like, are you embodying all of the qualities that you want in a relationship? Whether it's platonic or romantic, are you being, speaking, thinking like the type of partner that you want to be with? Because if you're not, that's your work to do. That's why these challenging, irritating mirrors of the relationships that are hard are blessings. These are a gift. I know it doesn't feel like that in the moment, and you're like, fuck this person, get out of my face, replace them with somebody better and easier. It doesn't work like that. You'll just keep repeating it. You'll keep attracting the same pattern over and over until you resolve it within yourself and change the projection. So these are just some little prompts like you could ask yourself. Number one, like, what am I refusing to take ownership of in this situation? I just mentioned a bunch of things. What part of me is trying to get rescued or vindicated? Another one that goes with that is just like, where do I need to be right instead of happy? Where do I cling to righteousness? Where do you get off on being the victim? Where do you get off on trying to keep the upper hand? So those are just some journal prompts for you. If you want to reflect on those things, it would be an awesome start. And if you're spiraling over a challenging relationship right now, take a deep breath. Really try to remind yourself, this is not about them, this is about me. Like, you have to take it back and start with you. I understand that people do shitty things. It does happen. People do hurtful things. But you can't control other people. You can change what's going on in your mind. You can stop creating the causes for that hurt to appear in your reality. And over time, you will stop experiencing this stuff. You will not keep repeating these same patterns. I promise. If you're really doing this correctly, those things are going to start to dissipate. They're going to go away eventually. And sometimes it'll happen faster than you think. You'd be surprised. Like, if you really dedicate yourself to this and you really challenge yourself to be like radically responsible. And these relationships are not just about like, oh, this is so hard. Like, this is like hard work. This is where you truly free yourself. This is like ultimate liberation is possible if you believe that you can change your projection, then you can change your world. That's why I'm doing this stuff. That's why I'm helping you guys. But before that, I want you to have better relationships. I want you to have the conscious and devoted and like, holy shit, I can't believe that this exists type of love. I want that for you. And I know that you can create it. So if you want help with this, I use lover relationship in this for the most part, but trust me, this applies to any relationship, not just romantic. If you want to know how to do this, if you want to actually dig in and get there faster, join my membership. I'm going to be opening up just for the wait list, a secret invitation at the end of August to slide in before general enrollment in October. So doors are not opening to the general public until October of this year, so a couple more months in the fall, just in time for spooky season, obviously. But if you get on the wait list for the underground, then you're going to be getting first dibs on the spots that will open up at the end of August. But that's going to be private only for the wait list. So if you're interested, come on in. I would love to have you. Otherwise, thank you for being here. Subscribe to the channel. Follow the podcast. I appreciate your support. Love you guys, and I will talk to you on the next one. All the links are in the description box below. Ciao.